answer you, I think we're at a pivotal time where if you don't adapt, you die.
Yeah.
I mean, social media is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The digital space is definitely not going anywhere.
Facts.
So a lot of your traditional radio stations have to adapt. They need to find ways to merge with, the changing landscape. So
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Yo. It's a supersonic combination.
Yeah. We got DJ Swift in the house.
Yes.
The international Pantsula.
What up, family?
Chilling, bro. And we got the queen of soul and R&B, Samantha Mogwe.
You're a queen.
I receive.
Yeah.
I receive.
Like a King Swift.
At the King Swift.
The King's Chamber.
The prolific one.
Formerly King's Chamber.
Yeah, welcome to the 20th Avenue podcast, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us and extending an invitation. It's my first podcast.
Really?
I've never been on this side.
Okay.
What I'm moving forward. How many have you been on?
I don't know.
Wait,
I'm not keeping count.
Oh, okay.
Who's more relevant now? Yeah. So, first things first, the reason why I called you guys, I invited you to come over. Like, your show, The Midday Fix Reloaded.
Yes.
I personally feel like it's the only show worth listening to at the moment across all the private radio stations.
Where's the mic? We need to drop the mic.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
Decompliment.
Yeah. So like I needed to say it out. Like, I'm not fighting with anyone or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to produce one of the best shows in the country. But then it was the best show.
What show was that?
It was the Big Breakfast Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that was a big show.
Yeah,
so now I'm passing the
baton.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so the other reason why I called you guys, like, I just wanted to experience when the hunters be hunted.
It's so weird. Earlier on, you were talking about hunting and hunting.
Funny enough on the show. That's how we close the show today. Yeah.
So why is it that you guys have a hit show, but it's in the like King 12 to 3? Why not on the breakfast show?
Ding.
Why not on the?
I like this podcast. I like this podcast. So actually, funny enough that you said that, Samantha doesn't want to do breakfast.
Bro, why?
And I've been saying, well, you know what?
He doesn't mind breakfast. There was a time when there was a talk of breakfast. I was like, ain't no way, huh?
Yeah.
I think also the breakfast show at Gabs FM is like it leans on current affairs and a lot of local politics.
Yeah.
I think by the grace of God, if we were to do it, we'd flip it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. We'd lean on other human interest stories and things like that. But hey, we don't know. You know, our colleagues who are the breakfast show hosts are still our people. And our time will come, huh?
No, like we're not saying that you're better than them or they're not.
No.
So the reason why, like, I've seen you guys, like, sometimes I get to work on the same field with you. Like, the way that you guys, like, the place that you move it, like, it's of people who are doing current affairs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank
so, like, give us all the limits in.
Sam, the people want to know.
It's just a bit of I think also because of, like you said, the current way in which the breakfast show is set up at Gabs FM. You need to be reading, you need to be following every day, and for current affairs, every day the scope of the story changes, so you need to have your ear on the ground every day. So
but I think as a trajectory in terms of we were very blessed in our careers. So I think the first year I did graveyard shift over the weekend.
I did graveyard shift midweek.
Yeah.
And then you did it for a year. I did it for a year. Then we had this, I don't know which Sunday service we came out of or what we ate. We just said, you know what, let's gun for the big show. Shout out to Dollar Mac. We were gunning for his show. We actually called him and asked him for permission.
We're gunning for your show.
We're gunning for your show, and then he gave us his blessing. He's like, all right, let the best man win. I guess we won. Did we? I guess so. but then obviously he upgraded to the breakfast show. So I think eventually, I think our relationship with the microphone is also to respect the mic. You know, they say you're only as good as your last show. So I think the idea is never to be pompous and arrogant and think that you're breakfast show material. But you know, when the time is right, I do think we will jump on.
When the time is right.
When the time is right, definitely. When the stars align.
Look at Samantha. I guess she knows when the time is.
I think you know what Samantha's concern is. I'll be honest with you. I think Samantha wears two hats, right? And she's got a framework in terms of who she is as a singer and a musician, and who she is as a radio presenter, which is a difficult task, I must say. I mean, the breakfast show, you put them on blast, you know. You might be speaking to the president today.
There's no taking sides.
You know.
And there's no taking sides.
I think in Botswana, one thing that we've got to recognize is that it's not a meritocracy. You don't win on merit. So I think it's just, you know, obviously you're doing careful planning in terms of the Samantha Mogwe brand off the mic and who you want to be on radio and where those two
they align,
they merge. You gotta pay me.
It's a tough one.
You have to pay me.
But you're waiting, my friend.
Yeah, you have to pay me. Like.
I like how the combination. If it was like a soccer team, it would be that Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney back in the day.
I like
combination.
Okay.
So what my question?
I'd be Wayne. I'd be Cristiano.
You be Cristiano.
Yeah. You know they call Wayne Rooney Shrek, huh?
You should know by now that I don't like arguing. I allow, my work and my things to speak for themselves. Swift is the one who likes to argue.
Okay, so when I was doing my research on you guys, I was asking myself, how does an international pantsula and the queen of R&B and soul get paired together? Because I know, bruh, like you are someone who's not scared of talking. Like you can speak in any room. I know my sister is well reserved. Despite her having a golden voice when she's singing. So how did you guys get paired and come up with this magic that you guys have?
Did we get paid or did we pay each other?
We paid ourselves.
Yeah,
you paid yourself.
We paid ourselves. And I guess in this instance, opposite attracts and it works. I think it's very important as well when you are working on a place such as radio, you don't need to be alike. There just needs to be a respect for each other. That's it. And I think we don't always agree. We don't always agree. Swift sometimes is like you did say, he's outspoken and I feel like most times I rein him in. So it's a good balance. And then over the past few years, I've been forced to really get out of my shell a lot.
The second edition really came out.
I'm pushing myself to get out of my shell. And also because earlier on, Swift, you spoke about Botswana being it's not about merit. But also I'm realizing that unfortunately here we haven't gotten to the point where we can disagree with each other without taking offense. And also allowing for that conversation to be able to take shape. So I'm learning.
I think for me, number one, I was an opportunist.
I love the honesty.
Piggyback off her brand. Because whether you like it or not, Samantha's Mogwe's brand on the digital landscape. She's got a solid brand. And I was like, okay, it's in the prolific pantsula, but Hanka.
Oh, prolific pantsula is international, I like it.
But I think also from a radio perspective, we looked at it this way. We are both married. She's been married close to 10 years. I've been married close to 10 years. We both have 2 kids. She's got a boy child, girl child. I have a boy child, girl child. And we're at a stage in our lives where, planning is important, getting closer to 40, trying to navigate. So we figured then that combination can unearth what we call the fixers, right? So the fixers can be, people who love 90s R&B, who love 90s hip hop. We played around Kwaito, And then we said to ourselves, okay, what's important to us? You know, we had this conversation to say, okay, she values nutrition, you know, working out, family, and we realized, okay, there's many synergies. And I think, as she says, we're so opposite, but on the show, I think it allows us to just be ourselves. And I think one thing that we've done naturally is we don't compete with each other naturally. You know what I'm saying? There's no ego. And I think with radio, it's so important to sort of complement each other, and then it works. You know, I can be speaking about weaves and stuff and this and that, and she can educate, and I said,
and I don't get offended.
You know,
Yeah.
but you know where I'd love to do a show with Samantha, or I'd love to do a show like this where Rapalama di Kombi. It's in a bus ranking, and then we have the show in the bus rank, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be super cool, don't you think?
It'll be super cool, but my question is she comfortable? Because she was putting on your face when you said combis.
No, look, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right? Yeah.
You know, let me tell you my secret with Samantha.
Yeah.
Like,
He doesn't warn me.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
could
secret.
say, okay, today I'm going to talk about sexual healing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk about, you know, but I'm not going to prepare because I need to catch off guard for the natural element of what radio is. And it's something that we've learned to do. Even she knows that, okay, there's times where I push it too hard, and Samantha sort of knows how to, you know, diplomatically make it sound nice and clean, and that's what it is.
All right. All right. So, do you have anything that you want to add on? Usha, you mentioned something interesting about the state of radio.
Yeah.
In the current times, like where are we like with the current state of radio? Like, are we prepared like every time when we're doing a show as presenters? Are we coming up with the vibe of doing radio, or we just coming because we talk heads?
Jeez, that's a great question. Wow.
Yeah.
I think, look, one thing that we've got to admit and be honest with ourselves is that broadcasting is very difficult in the Republic of Botswana, simply from an economic standpoint, right? The economy is not growing. It's been stunted for a very long time, which affects, you know, media houses' bottom line. You know, we know media is overrun by interns. It's overrun. So what I think what we have managed to do is we do a lot of reading off the mic.
Yeah.
We share a lot of notes, we share a lot of podcasts, and I think and I don't think we are great presenters personally, but I think you have to subscribe to personal development.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to constantly be saying what's going on in Zim, what's going on in there, what are the people saying in the streets, I remember when we tried to do a system where we realized only males were calling our show. Remember?
I know the reason.
Yeah, women were really afraid to go, and we're like, what's happening? What are the conversations we're having need to also be tailored towards women, and also allowing them and giving them the freedom to feel safe when they comment. So yeah, we try to do that. But also, Swift, like you did say, the state of our the state of media houses in general, you know, were underfunded. In a typical underpaid in a typical radio show, we should be working, like each and every radio show should have its own specific producers. It should, you know, to really carry the weight. But because we don't work in a typical environment, we are also doing a lot of production, which helps us grow, but it's also a lot. It's time consuming. It's a lot of
But
work.
I think that's done wonders for our career, because we were thrown into the Gabs FM that transitioned into talk radio.
Yes.
So we were talk radio. You had to have a talk hour of talk.
An hour.
So, and we don't come from broadcasting qualifications. You're a talker. Well, yeah.
Am I a talker?
You wouldn't be on radio. I'm a talker. And so it forced you to really develop quickly. And I think for us, I have a lot of respect for the microphone in terms of its power. And we strive, Samantha and I, to do what is called a paradigm shift, to at least sort of shift your focus. And it's like there was a time Samantha mentioned that, pregnant women and parking, right? So did you know a pregnant woman needs to be able to open the door far wider, so she needs a far wider parking bay? You know what I'm saying? And I think that is such an important component to always be reading behind the scenes. But I think the industry needs a lot of work. I think the industry as a whole needs to transition into the podcast world. I think we shouldn't wait for people to monetize it. And then shout out to Pudicast, shout out to the Juice, shout out to a lot of people, BW creatives that are doing great things, as well as yourself. I think the radio industry needs to sort of spill into the podcasting within studio.
Merge the two.
Or merge the two, you know what I'm saying? And I like what you say. I mean, when we launched our show, we did very well in terms of getting commercial private brands to link with a strategy that spoke to social media and terrestrial radio. I think those are things that need to be done.
All right, but you did mention that like radio stations or the media landscape it's running on a slim budget.
Yeah.
So do you think they'll be happy or accept to venture into the multimedia side of things? Because I tried to propose for such at one radio station and I was told that hakuna mali. Yeah, I was like, I can even bring my personal camera so that we can do things at a different level.
Yo, there's a show called The Midday Fix Reloaded.
Yeah.
But also to answer you, I think we're at a pivotal time where if you don't adapt, you die. I mean, social media is not going anywhere. The digital space is definitely not going anywhere.
Facts.
So a lot of your traditional radio stations have to adapt. They need to find ways to merge with the changing landscape. So this conversation, it is what it is. It's either you adapt or die.
Yeah, because for someone who's listening, they'll think that maybe Swift, Sam and Tumisana trying to talk crap about the local radio stations, but this is a conversation that has to be had at the end of the day.
No, man, you gotta be honest. I mean, our industry needs a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Fact. It's overrun. We're not paid well, but I think, look, entrepreneurship and creative entrepreneurship is about solving problems, and I think eventually. I mean, look, let's talk about Scar for a second and the Pudicast. I think it's done very well. The Juice, a lot of creatives, you can see that they're, trying to find those spaces and gaps. And I just think the private sector needs to step up in terms of giving us airplay, giving us, like this particular podcast. I find that people in the private sector, especially marketing or PR, they're just walking on clouds, man. They're hard to find. When you try an engagement, send a proposal. You know what I'm saying? But certain conversations need more of a tailor-made approach towards the conversation. Look, I can help your brand. Why don't you do that? Let's say, for example, insurance, right? Insurance is about the numbers. But what happens to the unbanked? Financial inclusion and the unbanked.
Yeah.
Why are we not having... We could have a podcast where we're speaking to the unbanked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think eventually Botswana will get there. But, survival of the fittest again.
So when are we getting there, bro? When are we getting there? Because time is moving. And I've been doing a research on local podcasts.
Oh, nice.
And most of them, they're on the verge of quitting, but they're still continuing because of the support that you guys give them. Yeah. But the lack of support, from the corporate, you're saying, it's pushing them back because all this production, this is money.
It costs money,
Yes. Yeah. Well, look, Jesus, that's a difficult question.
I think it can only get there if the people who are making decisions in corporate have some sort of a mindset shift. Yes, they need to make their numbers. Yes, they're reporting to Diboso, but it's on them as well to be able to convince the relevant people baba sign 90 check or sometimes we need to approach things in the not so traditional approach because a lot of the times we want to be safe, we want to play it safe, but how long are we going to play it safe for?
And I think also, one thing that I've learned, D, is that man, you got to understand your market and where you are. Huh? I've got an uncle that said to me, or in Swift, you guys are not in New York.
Yes.
You're not in Canada.
Yeah.
You're not in London. This is not Cape Town. He actually said, start to understand Horomomo shop up and start from there. So I think one thing that we all as an industry have to understand is that our market is very difficult and very small.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And what we do is that whether we like it or not, people like to understand the return on marketing investment. There's a science to it, you know what I'm saying? Marketing already, I mean, for example, how many companies have websites? Just in Botswana. Do you know some companies don't have websites, they have Facebook pages?
Updated websites, the ones that do have websites.
You get what I'm saying? And that for me, I think that's an indicator of our market. Our market is not what we think it is, you know what I'm saying? But however, there's a plug and play in terms of the global market. I personally have not cracked the formula. I don't know the formula. I have not cracked the formula, but Samantha and I are trying to do something very different. It's going to be called, we're playing around with names, 267 Khotla or something along the lines. That's all we're going to say. Samantha is actually already upset that I said the name.
All right, so this is a podcast.
He's always announcing things before they become formalized.
No, we'll edit this part out.
Yeah. But I think one thing that we've got to understand is that the world is looking at Africa, right? You see what we always say, what Burna Boy is doing.
Yeah.
I think I think there's a global shift in terms of Africa, whether it's from film. I mean, I was reading music, fashion,
food,
travel, and you've got a lot of people also coming back to motherland, coming back to get in touch with their roots. So I think we've got to be thinking from that. I think we've always said, why do we call you successful? You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about Rona, why we Radilos? You know what I'm saying? I think those are one of the indicating factors where we need to shift that and understand what the values and who we are. And we need to learn to package it. We need to learn and go to say, I wish we could see more workshops from the likes of Netflix to say, firstly, Botswana is an English-speaking country.
Yeah.
So that is a plus for the global market. We speak relatively good English. So I think we need to now play around with those kind of chapters. Is that how can we get distribution? What does distribution mean? What does distribution mean getting on a platform? I mean, the thing that we always talk about, YouTubers, we don't make money if you
can't be monetized from.
You can't even register in Botswana.
You can't even register. So I think that is where we gotta call out people in the diaspora. We gotta be very creative but look out for our podcast, something special.
It's a podcast, finally. Yeah. So you spoke about how we idolize like Western lifestyles and then got Rainyatsa Runagwan. Rainyatsa.
Yeah.
Blind.
Yeah.
Rainyatsa ba bangwe ba ba tshwanang le rona.
But how can you excel? Like, how can you adapt into our own our native rhythms, if I can put it that way?
Samantha.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
How do we learn not to inyatsa?
Yeah.
I always feel like some of these conversations have to start collabing. One thing that we are deliberate about doing at home is making sure that we instill that in our kids, like a sense of, you are amazing. You are amazing. You can do it. You can reach whatever the stars, the skies beyond. There's no limitations to who you can be. And I feel like in terms of instilling that pride, and there's nothing wrong with being proud of self. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. If you look at Nigerians, you can learn a lot from Nigerians. They will move to the UK, they will move to Australia, but they are very proud of who they are as a people. And because of that, they carry their food with them, they carry their culture with them, they carry their music, they carry everything that they are. Even if they can twang here and there, but that pride always comes out. And I'm wondering how we can do that as Botswana, but I'm feeling like it starts from home.
Look, I think also, as much as it starts from home, I really think from, you know, we need to have a conversation with the media fraternity. You know, media is powerful. I mean, we repped New York before we were there. I've never been to
Times Square.
I've never. I keep Statue of Liberty. I keep one money feeling me, and I think that's where sort of the powers that be, both the BW government and private sector need to. I don't think they understand the power of media and its investment. How we selling? And look at it this way. Like my kids, okay, they're YouTube kids, unfortunately. But Banabaka have told me about Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
Do they even know?
I'm telling you, just in conversations, they've told me about NASA. They've told me about New York. They've told me about Gucci. But that is simple. It is just the device that feeds them.
The messaging.
The messaging through a platform that is media. The Papa is Aron Adika.
And Hadi.
Where is our stories? Where is our movies? Where, like, look, I remember when we did that thing about the gods must be crazy, and I think it grossed over $80 million or something.
Even though they underpaid
the guy. But if you go back and you watch the gods must be crazy, it's a simple dialogue movie. There's no blowing up cars. There's no Superman or effects. It's just simple dialogue. And our stories are available. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Americans, that's their superpower, man. Americans will teach you through media, man. When you see an American man read, your body language, your posture, the way you, it's psychology. It's like respecting. You know what I'm saying? We speak about how that Ukrainian president became president. He was in a movie series that showed an ordinary man becoming president, and then he ran for. Maybe I should do something like that. Some pantola guy. Anyway, that's me brain fart. But anyway, so I think that Totahala, and it's a plea to Baholo, it's a plea to the private sector that, guys, don't underestimate the power of media. Banabadona, watch media. How many devices are out there?
But also apart from that, Swift, like some of the conversations we've had with directors and producers by film, they also complain about the fact that policy doesn't allow you to shoot certain things in Botswana. I mean, how are you not? Kori, if, for example, if you're shooting a scene where there's a car accident, you can get charged.
You know what I'm saying?
You can get charged.
And you know, I like that you mentioned that, because instilling values on a macro level can be done through media, edutainment. I mean, we've been to so many, what's that play at Mighty Song, Pula. You know, imagine that is something that I think should translate into music and trend, because whether we like it or not, we're Americanized.
I have a friend of mine who's American.
Okay.
You'll probably come through like all to record it like this.
Oh, nice.
I was with him last week. I took him to Techisa Nyama joint.
Oh, nice.
So when we go there, they were playing American music. People were singing along and stuff like that. So this guy's like, dude, why is it that there's a lot of American elements in here? I was like, bro, this is how we grew up. Like, the media raised us like this. He was like, bro, I didn't know that America has so much influence.
Soft power.
Big influence.
And they did that through Hollywood. Imagine if we grew like our own Bollywood king.
Botswood. They call it Botswood.
Yeah. Like, you'd be finding people like Babu Astwana and like American stuff like that. Yeah.
That's why Neo becomes Neo in the US.
Yes. Actually,
it's an identity crisis.
Even that lady was R&B,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Motswana, but like
Well, how do you say it? Yeah, I know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about you know what I'm saying?
You see?
Yeah.
Facts. But you see, and you know, we went on a journey. There's a tone of the midday fix that we're trying to get in terms of exporting culture. But what we've realized is that, you know, we've got so many beautiful stories. So many beautiful things. There's so much. It is so much. I mean, Banabarumpien don't know about June 14th bombings in Buntleng in 1985. But we will definitely wear the school. You know, I've got a problem with that. Because June 14th, then it's June 16th. And then everybody, even the private sector, but they skipped June 14th, which is our story.
Yeah.
So the sad thing is like, I don't think in Botswana it has started, but with the West, the Europeans and stuff, at first they took our treasures, right?
Yeah.
Our wealth. They took our people for them to be slaves. Now they're taking our stories. Like you see.
Oh, it started by the way. They've already patented. What's that? Kotla.
The Kotla system.
They patented it. So it started.
So it started. Now they're telling our stories.
Yeah.
And we'll be buying to watch our stories again.
But that's also because we don't value ours.
Yeah.
We don't value ours. I mean, look at Motole Motokong. Look at that story.
That would make a great movie, actually.
A great movie, dialogue. Don't teach me about collaboration, partnership, all those integrity values. You know, remember when we were talking about the fact that during Motole Motokomo, that era in the 1970s, late 70s, is that the level of trust within the economy was so high. It was so high.
Your word, you were taken at your word. So if you said, this is what I'm going to do, that's the level of trust.
And Botswana built a whole university.
That's a Netflix level type of story.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Commission.
No, why don't we let's take this camera and shoot this content, bro.
No, I'm telling you, look, D, that is the power, you know.
Yeah.
I love Niger. You know, I love Niger simply because they're proud, boss. A Nigerian, whether it's in New York. I mean, apparently they opened a state-of-the-art Nigerian restaurant in Times Square.
I can believe that.
Yeah, in Times Square.
In Times Square. And you know who's the biggest piano artist at the moment? It's a Nigerian artist.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure there's a war between them and South Africa, right?
But you see, even what South Africa did with Kwaito, with jazz, with tom, with piano. Look at what they did. That is not a physical policy, agriculture.
They literally just ran with it.
No, that is media, that is urban culture, and they packaged it, and now there are these dances, and you know what I'm saying? So what we gotta do is that we gotta learn, and we want Baholo and everybody to know that the most powerful platform is media. We can turn around how people perceive, like Game of Thrones. I think it is New Zealand that has a board. Part of their tourism board is called Game of Thrones.
Wow.
And that's because Philly, one of that dragon, and Jon Snow, I call Samantha Queen Cersei, by the way.
Yeah, Queen Cersei. And the other sort of thing, you know, that Serafina was based on it's based in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
But there's Botswana who put a hand in the writing of the script. Yeah, so let's tell our stories, guys.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, people will tell them for us and they'll change them. And then we'll complain.
Like the United Kingdom.
Hey, no comment.
Oh, no comment. Hey, clip that up. Hey, it's not a meritocracy.
You was joking. Yeah, guys, this is an interesting conversation, but I know time is not on our side. You guys have to rush. Shift is supposed to go in the...
No, don't worry, be cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
We're cool.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So one other thing, the interesting thing is you guys talk to the masses every day on a regular. And you maintain the same energy levels, despite the fact that maybe you're coming from Momotswa, Horokana Imabu, Wanaha Tukashapu, Kana traffic in Farasa. How to maintain that energy?
I think it's a choice. It's honestly a choice to not go by what you feel. Once in a while, we'll say it on air, yo, today. Once in a while. But yeah, we decide that even though it's been a terrible day, we are tired. There are those days that do pop up, but we literally have that little amount of time. And I think also just knowing the burden that's carried of how many people are listening.
Yeah. And respecting your audience, number one, and loving what you do, you know what I'm saying? I think number two, but I do know, and I can be honest, I think a lot needs to be done in terms of media personalities and our association towards mental health. I think I read a study some years ago that radio personalities are close to schizophrenic.
Because you switch.
Yeah, you switch.
Oh.
You jump on the mic and you switch.
You get there, you're tired, and then now you have to be excited and interested.
I think those are two things that we try and support one another and make sure and really hide it. There are days where we hide it very well. Very well.
But also, Swift, I think for us it becomes a bit easier because we carry each other.
Yeah, true.
I can only imagine for people who don't have co-hosts, because I
had that for 2 years, by the way. That's why I own 1%.
So he says he owns 51%.
I'm the majority share.
You own 51% of the show.
That's what he says.
Yeah, she owns 49.
And I don't argue, so I let him think.
So the reason I'm asking, at some point, Dineo Ranaka broke down while she was on air. Yeah. She broke down. She was like, "Why is this happening to me?" Yeah. So I think it requires a certain level of discipline, like you're saying. Like you have to maintain the energy no matter what comes through.
Yeah.
But I also think your faith, man. I mean, people don't know we are faith. We are faith guys. We believe. You know what I'm saying? So I think no matter what, you gotta believe in something because when things break down, when finances are not in the right,
everything is going wrong.
Yeah, especially
if you don't have some form of faith system, I don't know what it is. You've got to have that. In my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you manage to keep at it?
Keep at it. I think the vision is clear.
The vision is clear.
Yeah, the vision is crystal clear. And we're not doing this. We never did radio for money.
Or for fame.
Yeah, or for fame.
It's true though that radio has changed your lives.
Yes. Yes, I think
100%.
Personally for myself, I feel there's a level of growth. Even the people we get to have conversations with.
Absolutely.
We walk in rooms with the people who make decisions. The conversations we've had with a certain caliber of people, persons, whatever you want to call it, it forces you to grow. It has.
Because I always see you guys on social media, like with people who you only see on the news, in the newspapers and on TV.
Like that. It has. I mean, radio's done. Look, it's I call it brand investment with brand equity. You know what I'm saying? So it's much easier to have certain conversations when somebody said,
I was listening
they
to
let their guard down. And how little pansola, that's the opportunity to, hey, mutomton.
I think I should go because my last time I introduce her brother, like, what are you
So it does. It allows you into certain rooms easier.
Yeah. But shout out to Kathy. One thing that because Kathy trained me on radio.
Yes, and actually she used to speak on it.
Yeah, she trained me, and she always said that radio, you've got to have your plan B in check. Never do radio for career or anything. But so I think that's naturally me and Samantha have always had our things that we do off the mic.
Yeah.
So radio is just like a bonus. It's like it really does.
It complements.
Compliments. Yeah, that's the word, compliment.
Yeah, guys, it was nice having you on the 20th Avenue podcast.
Yeah.
I wish we can do a part 2 if it's possible.
Yes, Yes, we're going to do a part 2, 20th Avenue podcast. Shout out to Doomy for putting us on. It's the Midday Fix Reloaded, the Supersonic Combination, 12 to 3, Monday to Friday. And keep on the socials, right? Yeah, the socials will talk.
You need to get better. You need to get better.
You didn't tell management. They didn't send me a brief in terms of the execution
we need to
plan.
get better. We need to get better.
But pay attention. Shout out to what you're doing, my brother. I think it's only important to say thank you. I think often enough I think it takes a lot of boldness to do what you're doing and to go ahead and say, look, I'm going to do it. I got no funding. I'm going to get my camera. I'm going to do this and that. So please like, share, and interact with the 20th Avenue podcast. Let's support one another. Don't be funny, Exen.
Amen.
Support.
Amen. Peace.